All right. Let's take a trip down a dirt road and get to know Whitney Lusk. All right. Whitney Lusk, can you provide us with a brief introduction? Let's get to know you a little bit.
Okay. Well, my name is Whitney Lusk. I was born and raised in Spanish Fork, Utah, and I've lived here my whole life. I'm a country singer-songwriter, and I've also been singing for my whole life. So,
Oh, love that.
yeah, that's all.
Well, I want to know, like, when did you start singing? Like, can you remember when?
This is like the most cliche answer. I'm sure every singer gives it. I've been singing ever since I could talk. Like, my mom has videos of me when I was 2 years old at the cabin singing Little Mermaid, all that stuff. But I've been singing and taking voice lessons professionally since I was 8.
Okay.
So
you really wanted that to be a part of your world.
yes.
Love that.
Nice play on words. That was a good delivery.
Okay. Now, can you recall your first experience performing in front of an audience? Like, I want to go into detail with this. Like, I want to know how you felt. What was it like for you?
Okay. Yes, I was thinking about this the other day, actually. It was when I was in first grade. So I was probably like 6 years old, 7. And my elementary school had like their version of American Idol, but it was Canyon Idol. And and I was like, I want to sing. So of course I chose like the best song ever, God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood. And I was in this cute little dress that was all covered in stripes and stars, and my best friend at the time danced in circles behind me. And I got up there, I sang to the track, so it wasn't even like a karaoke track. I sang with the regular singer, and I was terrified. I remember being like, I don't want to do it. I changed my mind. And then I got up there, and I remember people like clapping, and I was like, this is freaking sick. I like this feeling. Like, I like that people enjoy hearing me sing. And then from then on out, I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be a singer.
Oh man, I love that.
Yeah.
Like what? Like
You asked for detail.
I know that's exactly what I wanted. Like
There you go.
that's a memorable experience.
Yeah.
Like that's what shaped just the drive and ambition.
Yes.
Like oh, I love stories like that.
It was fun.
Now, I want to know when did you find that spark and passion for country music? What draws you to the genre? Like how does that feel for you?
For me, I think it's like the storytelling aspect of country music and the nostalgia that it can bring. I love the songwriting. I think songwriting in all genres is very different, but in country music specifically, you get to tap into, you can write other people's stories, you can write your story, and I feel like people connect to it more than they connect to a lot of other genres. So that for me, I think it's the storytelling aspect.
That's beautiful. I mean, like, because that's what really makes music beautiful is when you
Yeah.
can tell a story so well that it just goes with a rhythm.
Yes.
It really draws people in. Like,
Yep.
you hear those stories like Jolene,
Yeah.
Big Iron by Marty Robbins. and
Yeah.
You can just envision it. It takes you somewhere.
Yes.
And that's how you know you've got powerful music.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
Now, are you open to exploring other genres in your career? I kind of tapped into one of your songs earlier and it had kind of a rock essence to
Yeah.
it.
I feel like I actually started in a different genre. I feel like I started with like an Avril-esque vibe. Because I was 16, that was the first EP I put out, and I was very like, just going through it. And I think I've already explored the other genre that I probably would be in otherwise, but I always come back to country. I think I'll stick with country.
It has a soft spot.
Yes, I think my music will always have a little bit of a rock country flair, I think, because I love rock music. It's solid.
And it's always fun to combine the two. I mean,
Yes, yeah.
don't like get secluded from
No,
one genre. When
yeah.
you can find a way to combine them both.
Yes.
I really like when you can find an artist that just knows how to combine two genres.
Yep.
It really unites just different crowds of people to come together and be like, you know what, we like this song.
I
This
agree.
is an influential song.
Yes.
So now, who were some of your musical idols growing up? Like, how did they influence you?
This question always gets me because I feel like I grew up on every genre of music. With my dad, it was always like the classic rock stuff. The Eagles, I would say, are probably one of the biggest inspirations. I always go back to the Eagles. As far as country music goes, I love Martina McBride. I love Shania Twain. I feel like both of them were just iconic. They still are. I loved Martina's vocals and I loved her songs that she chose to record. Those are the ones that like just kill you,
Oh
they
yeah.
get you.
Like Let's Get 'Em
Independence
Girls,
Day,
you know?
Concrete Angel. Oh, yeah, so good.
Oh, love those and good choices too.
Thank you.
Like the artists that really just
Yeah.
love that. Okay, now what are some challenge? Like I want to know what challenges do you encounter as a musician? Like what are some struggles that feel like they almost bring you down and make you want to leave the industry? Because I feel like as an artist, we always come across those. We always feel like we're always one mess up away from wanting to just pursue something else. So what are some things you've experienced that you'd like to share with us?
I think as an independent artist, it's really easy to like compare yourself to other people because you're on the same plane. Everybody's trying to do the same thing, but you just get, for me, it's like a mental aspect. I get caught up in what everybody else is doing and the comparison game, and that just never helps me. And I always go back to every single person brings something different to the table. So what sets me apart from every other artist in Utah or every other artist in Nashville doing what I'm doing, I think that, and I mean, obviously the industry itself is very finicky. There's a lot of aspects to it that can get you down. I had a publishing deal offer back in 2020 and then COVID happened. So they lost the funding for it. And that was like my first really punch to the gut, I think, of, well, frick, my dream was so close. And then it just poof, went away just like that. And everybody I talked to in the industry was like, well, that's music biz for you. And I was like, well, that freaking sucks.
Well, we've also heard Carver's story. It was a very similar thing with
Yeah.
him as well. Like that time really had a big influence on
Yeah.
artists. But I think in terms, it helps us deepen our understanding. So like if we can get through that moment.
Yep.
Like you're still here
You're better
today.
for it.
Yeah, and you're still here. You still got the drive and ambition. That
Yeah.
just means that there's some
It
even
weeds them
better.
out. Yeah.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
if they were following through with that, then they weren't the deal that you needed.
Yep, exactly.
So I mean, yeah, that's a positive way to look at it.
Yeah.
Now, I want to know, Nashville is renowned as the music capital, particularly for country music. Do you envision yourself relocating for your career to Nashville?
I would love to go to Nashville. I'm there so often. I think I'll probably make the move eventually. I don't know when that will be, but I definitely foresee me going out there at one point. Because
As you should.
yeah, it's the place to be for the networking side of things for sure. So, yeah.
More pathways, more opportunities.
Yes.
It's still an open market out there.
That's the place that you go and like those random one-off experiences where you see a celebrity in a bar and you're like, hey, yeah, I'm also a musician. And then they're like, let's take you under my wing, like the Toby Keith and Taylor Swift story. Like that stuff happens in Tennessee. It doesn't really happen here.
No, it seems like we're a bit more like secluded out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we're really trying to establish.
Yes.
Which is it has its pros and cons as well.
Oh, for sure.
And so like being able to establish yourself really well out here and then maneuver yourself to a bigger city, like you're like, okay, this is what I've got.
Well, and again, there, everybody is doing the same thing. So whereas here, there's not a ton of female country artists. So there's more opportunities, but everybody out there is doing the same thing. We're all fighting for the same stuff. So it's not fighting. We're all in the ring together, I guess.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Now, let's see. What are some of your aspirations within your music career? Like, what are some goals that you want to see for yourself, that you want to set for yourself? What do you hope to achieve within, say, the next 5 years, the next 10 years?
I would love to have, again, I'm an independent artist. I think if I could have like a song chart independently, that would be incredible. Also get to the point where I could go on a tour. I would love to tour. I have so much music that I'm working on right now that I'm super excited about. I feel like it's me. It's really who I am as an artist right now. And I'm hoping to put out a record maybe in 2025. And then maybe tour that record, get on some radio stations.
I'm to set this away for a second. I want to know a personal question.
Okay.
What song do you feel has the most influence on you? Like the one that you wrote. Like what was something that you really poured your entirety into where you felt vulnerable? You felt like you wanted people to hear this
Yeah.
and you wanted to affect them to where they can continue on with something they're struggling with or with something that they may be having a hard time with that you have gone through.
Yeah. That's a good question. There's a couple songs that are like that for me. I think there was a song that I wrote in my like rock era called Dark Side. That was about my dealing with depression, and I feel like that touched a lot of people. I had a lot of cool opportunities with that. And then I have a song that I wrote about my grandpa called Heaven's Got a Good One. I've played that at funerals. Like that one's touched people in ways I did not even think would happen because it was really a song for like me and my family. But I always go back to I'm releasing this song here in the next couple months. It's called Anthems of My Life. I wrote it with my guitar player, and it's really just about all the songs. I feel like the purpose behind music is to make people come together and to make people feel something, whether that's sad, whether that's happy, whether it makes them feel like they're not alone. And there's a lot of songs for me that have done that. And that's what that song is about, is all the songs that made me want to be an artist, that made me want to write music that touched other people. And I really hope that people listen to it. There's a line in it that says, there are songs about everything that used to matter to us. And that line, every time I sing it, like, it hits me because I feel like we've lost a lot of purpose in what we do. And I don't ever want to do that as an artist. I don't ever want to lose sight of why I'm doing music.
And that's what makes an artist
Yeah.
renowned.
Yeah.
They've got the drive and the passion for it.
Yeah. You got to have that. Otherwise, you're just
Going
a
through
shell.
the actions.
Yeah.
Just a shell, just going through
Yeah.
the steps without even really thinking about it.
Exactly.
Now, I also want to talk about what you've got some shows coming up. Can you tell us where those are going to take place?
Oh, I I am all over the place. I have some in Wyoming. I have some in Nevada, Idaho, and a ton in Utah. I'm actually going out to Nashville playing a full band show on May 6th. And I'm really excited about that one as well. So we're getting out there. It's just been kind of Utah stuff for the past couple years, but we're starting to get out into the surrounding states, and I'm so excited about it. I'll have specific dates and locations on my social media.
Well, you hear that, record labels?
Yeah.
She's got a show in Nashville. So you
Yeah.
have to go out and see it.
Come see me.
Yes, and people just have to follow your Instagram, get you
Yes.
on there. And
Please
speaking
do.
of Instagram, how do you see yourself? Do you see that it's really beneficial for you to like post like shows? Do you see it as a good avenue?
Yeah, I actually think, kind of going back to your Nashville question, if I feel like it's important to be in Nashville, yes, but I don't necessarily think it's necessary as much anymore because I think social media, you can grow such a following. I've kind of noticed the past couple months that my social media is starting to pick up, and I think posting shows is definitely helpful because then people know where to find you. You can't always count on the venue themselves to promote, so you got to promote yourself.
You got to be a boss. One.
Yeah,
You know, you got
yeah.
to be a boss.
Yeah, you got to be a boss.
Now, I want to finish it off. What's some advice you can give someone who is just starting out in the music career? What do you think is something that's important to know that can get them through like tough times, like to be able to persevere and continue in this career?
I'll try and say this in the most eloquent way I can. I've been doing this since I was 13. So I've been doing it for 12 years. And there is a lot of people who will tell you that you need to write and perform and do what is popular now because that's what's going to make money. Don't do that. That take my word for what it's worth, but I feel like one, people can see through it. And two, if you have something you want to say and you have a way you want to say it, then stick to your guns, because people can see authenticity and it draws people in. So just be who you are and do it how you want to do it. And people will like that better than any copycat, in my opinion.
There's only going to be one of you.
Yes. Yep.
That's if you're going to make it being yourself.
Make it be you. Yeah, exactly.
Because then you don't have to keep up with some image.
Yes.
Because we as people are versatile. We're always just ever changing. Like, what if one day you decide, maybe I want to dabble in something else?
Yep.
If you've built yourself off of something that's like what's popular, it's like you're kind of stuck in that mold. Yeah.
You're in that lane.
Instead of just being like, you know what, I don't care about like what other people think. I'm here to do this because this is what I am passionate about.
Yep.
That's what's beautiful as an artist. Like people like you, like you're artists, you're a type of artist that we need, because sometimes people, they get lost. They get so sucked into the idea of fame or the idea of being just adorned in luxuries based off of being able to give the people what they think they want.
Yes.
Because the truth is, sometimes what people need is not what they want.
It's very true.
And by being your most authentic self, that's going to be what gives it to them.
And there's a time for everything. It may feel like it's never going to work out for you, but it may work out in 10 years. So like, don't give up just because it gets hard, because life is hard. It's like, you got to choose your difficult, and stick with it.
It's hard as hell. Pull your boots up, get a little...
Pick yourself up by your bootstraps.
That's exactly, just get up there and just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's like other artists, like they'll see their work the first time and they're like, oh, that was garbage.
And we're our hardest critics.
Yep.
100%. Yeah.
But then you can look at it and be like, well, I saw what happened here. How can I make it better?
Yeah. If you're not willing to grow, you're never gonna... You also will never make it in this industry. You gotta be willing to grow a little. So I guess back to what I said, or my original answer. Yes, do what feels right to you within limits. Like if people give you constructive criticism, you gotta be able to take constructive criticism. Otherwise, you're never gonna grow, because some people do have little nuggets that are gonna be helpful, and some people. Trust your gut, dude. Just trust your freaking gut. If you think that somebody's trying to do something or sell you on something that's a little sus and you're like, that doesn't line up with what I want to do, then don't do it. But if somebody is genuinely trying to help you become a better version, then go for it. Take what they're going to say.
I love that. That's the answer right there. That's what I wanted to hear.
There you go.
This is the truth about the industry.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you were able to touch up on that, because I feel like people need to hear it,
Yes.
So
Agreed.
Some people really just need to like open up and be more vulnerable.
Yes.
So I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. It's been such a great pleasure to get to know you.
Thank
now
you.
knowing that I know you, I know Carver, like it just feels like a very intimate, tight-knit community.
Yes.
So thank you for taking this journey with us down that dirt road.
Thank you.
And I hope you many blessings and many treasures along your route. And I hope to be
Ditto.
able to tap on in the future and see like what progress you've made and see where you've
Yes.
come. So
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good
well,
time.
thank you so much, Whitney. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.